What we're going to do is we're going to play the B-side of the 12-inch of the New Order single. Thieves Like Us is the instrumental version is, of course, the B-side of the 7-inch, which we played. We didn't play that, but we played the A-side, Shell Shock, after the 8 o'clock news. But now you're going to hear Shellcock, which you can only find on the B-side of the 12-inch record. But meanwhile, nobody believes you're here. So just say hello to everyone out there, Peter and Bernard.
They're not here yet. They're on the way, up the stairs.
What we're going to do is going to play this, and then we're going to talk about the recording of it with John Roby, etc. And Peter, you can confirm if you did in fact have a fight with your producer, as there is a rumour going round. And then after 9 o'clock, we'll open the phones.
To rumours.
After 9 o'clock, we'll open the phones and we'll take some calls. But meanwhile, 12-inch record, New Order, Shellcock, the B-side of the 12-inch only of Shell Shock, out in your shops tomorrow. Go buy it and go see them on the Tube this week. Seconds away. Right, showtime, children. Live in the studio, my special guests tonight are Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook from New Order. Welcome again, chaps. Sorry about the delay, but then again, you were late, so I was late. How's that? Are we all settled, crisp set and everything?
They're not here yet. They're not here.
They're not here. The first question I was going to ask you was basically what you thought about England's tour of the West Indies and the significant loss of form of Ian Botham. But as you're not cricket fans, we'll have to skip on and talk about your record. Barney, can I ask you first?
Yeah.
The track we just played before the break was Shellcock, the B-side of the 12-inch, and you're telling me off air that you both of you do in fact prefer that to the A-side. Any particular reasons?
Well, it's not as repetitive.
It's not?
And it's got little different bits in it. So I like it because it's got little different bits in it, and I can listen to all the different bits. So when I get bored of them, I can listen to the next different little bit.
You agree with that, do you, Pete?
I don't know, I'll have to think about it. Have you got a translation? No, it's more instrumental.
Yeah.
Well, it is the instrumental side, isn't it?
It's a bit wackier as well.
Yeah, it's wackier,
You put an instrumental on the 7-inch, of course, Thieves Like Us. Is that thing you always wanted to record as an instrumental track itself? You were never pleased with the way that record did, were you?
Thieves Like Us? Well, I can't remember how it did it, so...
I think it got a bit overshadowed by Blue Monday's second coming, so to speak, which was a bit of a problem. But I mean, the reason the instrumental was on was because when we did the film Pretty in Pink, which we did Shell Shock for, they put Thieves Like Us instrumental in the film, and it was a different mix to the instrumental that was out on record. So we thought it was quite a good idea to put an edited version out on the B-side of the 7-inch, because hopefully it'll do better, you know, people will hear it and things like that.
When's the film out in the States, this Pretty in Pink?
It's out now, actually.
It's been out for a week.
And when does it expect to come to Britain?
August the 17th. Now, I was about that for a bit of information.
I was reading a thing, of course, the Psychedelic First Pretty in Pink, they've re-recorded that for
yeah, they have, yeah.
And there's an OMD track on it as well, so there's quite a lot of music in the film.
Yeah. There's, who else is there?
Smith, Susan Vega.
Smith?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. How did you...
No, it wasn't.
No comment. How did you come to get the association with John Roby in the first place? I mean, how did you find him? Did he done some records that you particularly liked, or...?
Well, when we worked with Arthur Baker, when we did Confusion in New York, we met John Roby then, and we just thought we'd work with Arthur. We just like to work with producers as a one-off thing, just every now and then, because you can only learn so much off yourself, and he just seemed a wacky character, and I liked his music, so...
Did that in itself mean there was any sort of personal band dissatisfaction with the production on Blue Monday? Because, I mean, the production on that was fairly sound, to say the least, and then Confusion, you just went straight to someone else.
Yeah, but you've got to keep going on to something new, haven't you? Or else you get stuck in a rut. You know, you end up like, let me think of a group that's stuck in a rut.
The Smiths.
Oh.
sorry, Maurice.
Hey, I like the Smiths.
So
but he's right.
You reckon that? Okay, straight on to... you recorded it in Yellow too. Have you... you did in fact spend quite a lot of time there, and it was quite an expensive record to make, wasn't it? I mean, all this...
I've heard that Yellow 2 have just bought Strawberry as well.
That's right, yeah.
So they might actually be able to make one good one out of the two of them then. It could be quite interesting, though.
Oh dear.
Well, actually, it's a digital recording, right? We had a digital machine and we did everything on digital.
Is that the way you work now, basically, all the time?
No, because it was dead expensive.
So we won't be working like that again.
You won't?
We've no chance of making any money whatsoever on that record, but it doesn't matter anyway.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, as it stands, we're happy with it as it can be, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works as a 7-inch edit. I mean, it's the first 7-inch New Order have in fact put out since what, Ceremony? For people to buy.
Yeah,
We had to, it was so expensive.
personally, I'm not that keen on 7 inches. I prefer it as a 12-inch art. I prefer the dub side.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right to sell your records to your fans, isn't it? But I mean, if it comes to crossing over and getting like daytime airplay, I mean, 12-inch records don't fit into these little boxes that disc jockeys bring in, and that's basically the attitude that you're up against, I think.
Yeah, Blue Monday did though.
Yeah, but I mean, was it still in the charts before they? I mean, I noticed a few people edited it.
Well, they had to play it because it got so high in the charts without radio play.
Getting back to Shell Shock, an interesting thing that I heard from what Richard Butler from the Psychedelic Furs was saying in a press interview he did this week was when you do a soundtrack in the States for a film, it acts in fact like a video, and you get like the equivalent of MTV exposure. I mean, do you agree with that?
Well, they always make these.
I don't understand that. What does he mean by that?
Well, what he means is like if the film goes out on general release, then people get to see like
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean the association?
Well,
yeah.
you know what it's like.
It's the thing about putting your music in a film is they get across to a different market by the people they associate with, which is quite good for us in America because they'll be the film will be seen by a lot more people that have never heard of us than if we just went and did a tour in America, which is quite good. So I suppose it does work in that way.
See, in America, right, I know this doesn't happen in England, but in America, the only way that you get radio airplay is by bribing DJs.
That's absolutely true.
Yes. And
by the way, your Rolls has got a flat tone.
If you do music for a film, it's a way of bypassing that. You know, we've got our morals.
It's nothing's changed since the days, of course, of Alan Freed, has it? Because I mean, he was quite perplexed by it. Yeah,
is he a local band?
Yeah, I know he is. He just got caught. That's all.
That's right. Yeah. But he was quite stunned by it all, wasn't he? I mean, he was probably the exception to the rule. But I agree with you. Anyway, time for a musical interlude, chaps.
No.
Yeah, we've got to do this. We've got to play some tunes because some people might think incredibly boring. So I mean, if they're driving in the car, they better play a break.
They can wait while they're phoning then.
We're going to play the compact disc version of Sooner Than You Think, a track that you, in fact, mentioned, Peter, you wanted to hear because nobody plays it, correct? If this doesn't work on compact discs, don't be surprised to hear the membranes. But nevertheless, we will in fact have a go. Let's go, chaps. Press this button here. Press this button.
How embarrassing.
Oh dear.
Just to do it for you.
You get one of our roadies to do it for
I'll tell you what, we'll take the membranes and then we'll come back with a record. Me? Oh, it's a wrong track. Oh well, here we go with the next track. Slight chaos in the studio. Listen, you were going to say...
Sorry about this, viewers. It's his first night.
The mayhem in the studio is my guests Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook from New Order. And we are going to go up to the news with a track from ex-stablemate, so you're James. I don't know if you've heard it, a track called Chain Mail. Produced by Lenny Kane on Les.
I've not heard it, no.
You've not heard this?
I've met him, though. I've met him.
You've met him?
It's very quiet.
Very quiet, lads.
Yeah, very quiet. They came in here and did a live version of this about a year ago.
What, in here? How did you get
in the other studio?
Oh, in the other studio, alright.
Listen, it was your reason. I mean, the one track I didn't want to play off that because everyone plays was Love Vigilante. And this machine, I mean, technology. I mean, why don't you make your records for Dan sets? It's considerably easier.
Obviously not bribing you enough, Alan. Here's another quid.
Right, here we go. You're going to set a certain ratio competition to go and see him at the Ritz after the 9 o'clock news.
The loser gets to go and see him at the Ritz. No. The winner gets to go to Hacienda on that night.
Meanwhile, this is a lot easier. This is off record. This is James. First to play up to the news, and you're going to introduce it, in fact, Mr. Hook.
Yeah, this is for Stephen Morris, who you may not know is our drummer, actually. He's busy at the Pratzing place, just cleaning the toilets and making the cups and... Oh, sorry.
Pratzing place?
He chose Sunday dinner, so more fools you for coming in, eh?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
What's it called?
I don't know. What's it called?
This is it, anyway.
Oh, yeah, the paper.
It's wild, it's wacky, it's slick, it's savvy. It's the madcap world of Tony the Greek.
At least said Peter Bowie then. What you're doing to me here. That's David Bowie and Speed of Life. And that's one of your favourites, isn't it, Bernard? We did in fact play that 18 months ago when we had a chat.
It might be that one, it might be one of the other tracks off that. It's got harmonica in it. Anyway, I don't think it is that one.
It's off the Eno-produced Low album, and we will be playing a track off More Blank Than Frank, the new compilation album that Brian Eno has compiled, not of his greatest hits, or his all his singles or anything, but the tracks he'd like to hear in order. What we're going to do is we've got a whole bunch of calls coming in now to ask New Order. My guests in the studio tonight, of course, Bernard and Peter from the band, and what we're going to do is, while this next record's on, if you want to phone in, we'll put one of your calls on today, because they want to talk to their public, and this might not be very easy.
Let's go.
This might not be very easy, but 228-6262 if you want to talk to New Order. You might not want to talk to them, I don't know. Anyway, meanwhile, we'll hear a record that has in fact been recorded at one Mr. Hook's studio, Sweet 16 in Bury. New single from the Members. We played it last week. Everything's brilliant.
I've not got any.
You've not got any what? New single from the Membranes, recorded, of course, Sweet 16 in Rochdale.
Yes, remind me to have a word with CJ about that.
Rochdale isn't in Bury at all, but one thing I can tell you is Intake Records, on which label they now record, is in fact in sale. And we've got a whole bunch of calls coming in now, so what we're going to do is going to take a call from Mark in Whalley Range, who wants to ask Barney a question. My special guest in the studio.
Mark.
Hi, Barney.
Hi.
Listen, I'd like to ask you, I've seen you 5 times now,
Yeah.
you know, in the last year. And every time you're on stage, you're always getting, you know, a bit boozed up, aren't you? Especially at Hemel Hempstead, I can remember.
I don't think so.
You were on with the Perno. Don't you think so? I remember on Piccadilly 18 months ago, you were saying you were scared a few years ago of playing sort of live because you didn't think, you know, you might live up to it. But recently you have been, though. You're more confident on stage.
Well, I feel like I can live with myself now and that I can respect myself as a human being. Actually, that's not Perno that I drink on stage, it's soluble aspirin. I suffer from migraines and I've got to have it on stage with me.
Yeah, because you handed that to someone at the front, didn't you, at Hemel? And then there was a lot of hassle with it breaking all over the place.
No, that was your eye, that.
Was it? So we didn't... that's very nice. Well, you're saying...
Go on, Paul, go on. I'm sorry, I'm only joking.
Only
you
joking.
just said that you're more of a person now.
Yeah, well, I feel more normal now.
Do you? Well, why? What was up with you, should I say, before?
Nothing, there's nothing up with me before. But I feel less uptight now.
That reflects in your music?
No, I mean, well, I had to go on stage and replace what Ian used to do, so it was quite difficult.
Did you think that, because you had to, do you think you had to play sort of, I know everybody says depressing music, but more atmospheric music, whereas now it's more sort of danceable. Do you think that's a reflection on how you feel now?
Oh no, it's quite difficult getting up on stage singing, and it took a bit of getting used to it, and now I'm used to it.
So you're enjoying it now?
Yeah.
Because you did say the first song you really enjoyed singing to was Temptation, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, because I can remember the old Piccadilly interview from 18 months back.
Okay, Mark, listen, this isn't an interview album, so we're going to have to cut you short, because we've got a whole bunch of calls. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, mate, cheers. Great, thanks, fellas, for answering that. We'll take some more calls, 228-6262, if you want to put some questions to Barney and Peter from New Order. Meanwhile, a whole bunch of things that we've got in here. First of all, we've got a question here, Barney, from Philip Lanscoil from Liverpool. What was the last record you bought?
The last record I bought?
The last record you bought?
Ooh,
difficult one. We'll come back to that. What about you, Mr. Hook? Did you buy a record? What was the last record you stole?
Zagoo Sputnik.
The last record you got for now was, in fact...
no, the last record was what?
BAD. About 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That answers that. Now listen, if Shell Shock, this is from Alex Flagg in Wilmslow, Cheshire, if Shell Shock is a hit, will they appear on Top of the Pops, and if so, will they play live? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this.
Hey, listen, mate, if we appeared on Top of the Pops, we'll mime.
You'll... That's a complete...
Oh, sorry, I mean we play it live. Who said mime?
No, that's it. Before you get stuck into all your chips, one more question, then we'll take a musical interlude. Bernard, are you going to release As It Was and When It Was as a single? Debbie Barlow, Staley Bridge.
Well, it's called As It Is and When It Was, actually.
Debbie, sorry about that.
I didn't say it, she's got it here.
Not As It Was and When It Is. We might put it on the B-side of our next single.
Whoa. Speaking of singles, presumably we'll be doing Shell Shock on the Tube on Friday.
No.
You won't?
No.
Well, that's fairly par for the course. It'd be more unpredictable if you did do it, wouldn't it?
We're being experimental on Friday, actually.
Are you going to tell us what you're going to do?
No. We're going to experiment, just
You're going to do some Cream numbers and Hendrix numbers, probably.
Well, people say that we sound like that.
We're going to show that tube up for what it is.
Yeah. Did you, getting back to TV, did you enjoy the whistle test that came from the Hacienda?
Yeah,
I
I
have
enjoyed
seen it.
it.
Nice
I mean,
club, nice club. Don't understand why people play the Ritz, me.
You're going to set a certain ratio competition. I can see this coming.
Certain ratio competition, yeah. Right, and the question is, how many hits have Certain Ratio had? And we'll give you a clue, right? None. So the first one to ring in wins 2 tickets, the second one to ring in wins 4, and it goes down after that, so you better hurry up.
I think you're going to hold you personally responsible for this. Meanwhile, we're going to hear this, especially for Sarah, who's been very helpful tonight answering the questions. In fact, putting the questions through, no less. She's lost control from Joy Division,
questions.
plundering the archives.
We
Right?
ask the questions.
All right. Come to you in a second. She's lost control from, of course, Joy Division. The other side, in fact, of Atmosphere, and Atmosphere is the record that I think I want to play out with tonight, but nevertheless we'll find out, because my guests in the studio are Peter Hook and Bernard Sumner from, of course, New Order. Now, we have got a whole bunch of calls that we're taking, and we've got a whole bunch of more calls, in fact, written down. Peter Livesey from Salford. Peter Hook, I'll ask you this. When will you be touring?
Touring where?
Well, I presume when he can go and see you at anywhere near Salford.
Just done one?
1987, I think.
Do you know plans to play in the immediate future?
No, we're going down south. We did 3 gigs up north. That was enough. It's very cold up here, you know, Tony. We're moving down
Well,
south.
we're all Mancunians, we know that. Bernard, what advice for new guitarists? I don't think this is, in fact, from Vinnie Riley.
What advice have I got for guitarists?
Yeah.
Buy a synthesizer.
Buy a synthesizer, thank you. Oh, that's from Stephen Morris. Oh, no.
All right, buy a drum machine.
It might be Stephen Moran. Anyway, we'll cross it off the list. And here's an interesting one. Simon Jones from Green Mountain Berry. What are your favourite Joy Division and New Order tracks? What a difficult question. Obviously, you love everything you've ever
Joy
done.
Division and New Order tracks.
Don't like them. Don't like them.
Everything Simple Minds have ever done.
Yeah? Right, tell you what we'll do. We'll take a short break and then we'll come back. We've got a caller on line 4, and we'll take that in a sec. Right, do we have Nicholas on the line?
Yeah, that's right.
Right, you've got a question for Peter?
Yeah.
Fire away.
The question I wanted to know is, when you made the record, The Perfect Kiss, what's the story behind the lyrics to that? You know, where did you get the idea for it from?
That's an interesting question, that, Nicholas, yes. It's all about AIDS, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, we're very interested in these kind of diseases. Bernard was actually going to be a doctor before he gave up and became a guitarist, so this is why we have a strange interest in medical things, you see. So anyway, when he got AIDS, I mean, yeah, it's about AIDS.
What's the reference to pretending not to see his gun? I said, let's go out and have some fun. What's the other reference to that?
Pardon?
What, in the line in the song where it says pretending not to see his gun, I said, let's go out and have some fun. You know, what's the reference from that line? What you're referring to?
Oh, right. I don't know. I never listened to the lyrics.
We want the lyricist to answer that.
Yeah.
I couldn't
He's
hear
eating at the
the
moment.
question.
You couldn't hear the question. What's it about, Perfect Kiss?
Well, it could be about a number of things, but it was suggested to me by someone, a journalist, that it was about AIDS.
Was
I
it?
thought that was a very good
Told you.
idea. So I tell everyone it's about AIDS.
Okay, cheers, Nicholas. Thanks for the call. Loads to cram in. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Right, another question here. How did Gillian Gilbert become involved in the band? That comes from Glyn Williams in Stretford.
Glyn, well, she came involved in the band because basically she was Steve's girlfriend and she could play guitar, and we needed someone that was Steve's girlfriend and could play guitar. And that was it. It's nice to work with people, you know.
Yeah? So you'd never consider getting an outsider in, like, never be interested in anyone joining the band that you didn't actually know?
Not unless it was Samantha Fox, no.
We did, in fact, discuss this when Ian passed away, didn't we, last time we had a chat, Barney?
Getting Samantha Fox in?
No.
You never told me.
You're going to be serious about anything, Hook? Dear me. Do you intend to carry on making only 12-inch singles? Mark Wright from Sale.
Well, it's a man-sized record, 12-inch single, isn't it?
Yeah? But what about the people who can't afford to buy 12-inch records? Your fans will buy them, but what about the others?
You can get stuff.
You're not interested, fair enough. How do you go down in America on your first tour? David Collins, Stretford.
Well, America's a bit of a struggle because they're very, very tasteful over there. So they're very choosy about what they like.
Yeah, I've seen the top 3 this week, Mr. Mister, and
exactly.
It's great to see that Starship has crashed in at number 1. What a great group they are.
That's the problem, but we're still trying to crack America, so to speak.
Barney, moving on before we ask some other questions, the track we're going to play now is Happy Mondays. Of course, I had a single out on Factory a while ago. You've just been in Yellow 2 producing them. Do you want to tell us a bit about the track we're going to hear now?
I'll tell you a bit about Happy Mondays.
Go on.
They're a peculiar bunch of lads, they are.
Yeah?
I did it with Tony Wilson, actually. Me and Tony co-produced it.
I thought Tony was in the States or somewhere.
He did. He co-produced it from the States.
On the telephone?
Told me what he wanted and I did it. But we used to get a Chinese meal every night, right? And we used to throw it in the bin, what was left. And one night I went upstairs to the restroom and I caught them all digging in the bin, eating my Chinese meal.
They'd do anything to get close to him.
Speaking of getting close here, what about this letter in Smash Hits, Peter? People do tend to think you're abnormal people. Lord knows why. It says in a recent issue of Smash Hits, you printed a New Order fan club address. And it goes on to say, Peter Rook replies here, saying, "Oi, don't send letters like this as anymore, as they're awful. We've no fan club and we don't deal with typewriters." How do you feel to people writing in and being quite sycophantic? I mean, are you surprised that people don't think you're going to be, like, unapproachable and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I find the whole fan club thing a bit depressing, really. I don't.
Do you answer your mail? I mean, obviously you get mail.
Of course I answered it. I answered that one.
Yeah.
If they send a self-addressed envelope, I can't even talk tonight.
No, that's because you've stuffed your face full of chips.
I know.
Clear the studio.
So if they do send an envelope, I do reply if I've got a moment. And they're my replies, so a lot of people won't be sending in envelopes anymore.
Right, if you want some more calls, 228-6262. My guests in the studio are Peter and Barney from New Order, right? If you want to set some questions, 228-6262. First of all, David Moyer from near Chester, in fact, Kingsley near Chester, wants to know that when you played with the Smiths and The Fall at the Manchester gig at, where was it? Was it the
Liverpool gig.
Royal Court? It was in Royal
Liverpool
Court.
gig in Manchester.
He wants to know if it was you, Peter, that you did in fact empty your bowels on him, because he still reckons you're the bookie's favourite.
Well, if he's got to ask the question, then obviously he doesn't know it was me, so he must be thicker than he looks.
Well, he wants to know if he should wash his jumper or not.
No, definitely not. I'd had a curry that night, I distinctly remember.
Right, on with the show. Barney, tell us about this, basically the title, as much as anything, of this Happy Mondays track. Here's a finished mix. Is it going to be the single?
Yeah, well, no, this is the B-side.
What's it called?
I like it. It's called The Egg.
The Egg?
Yeah.
Shall we hear it?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Okay.
If you can find the button.
Oscar Do from their new album, Candy Apple. Great. And we are sorting out some winners of the tickets to go see Husker Du this Friday at the International. Right, that's Husker Du, and I don't know who's supporting. We have a caller. Hello.
Hello.
Who? Announce yourself, dear.
My name's Marlene from Moston.
Right. Who do you want to ask a question to? Bernard?
Both of them, really.
Right, fire away.
I've been listening to music recently, and it's gone kind of high energy-ish, you know, pretty gay music type. And I just wondered if they needed any female vocalists. Well, you know, is the music going that way?
Someone wants a job.
Well, judging by your voice, dear, I think we could definitely do without you.
Thanks, sweetie.
You're all right, darling.
See you
But
later,
I will give you my home phone number, and if you do get really desperate, just please look me up sometime.
Yeah, I will do, because I think it'd be really good in a band like New Order.
Why?
Why? Well, because the music is getting really, you know, it just sounds
Ecstasy,
gay.
yeah, no, it's all ecstasy, I've heard.
Ecstasy, fantasy.
Oh, fantasy, sorry.
I think that's what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It certainly is a fantasy.
Family show.
Anyway, it's been great talking to you.
It's been great talking to you, Pauline.
Yeah, see you later, Pete. Heather's okay, she's still asleep.
See you later, dear. I'll be home in half an hour.
All right, I'll get the kettle on.
I don't believe this. Is that... Are you related to that lady?
No.
Oh, right.
Just good friends.
Barney, we're going to play a record now, which you have in fact bought in. Do you want to tell us a bit about it? It's called Boy, it's a dub mix, and it's by Book of Love.
He loves
That's
boys.
right, actually.
Yeah? Where did you find this? It's on site, or is it an American import copy?
DJ gave it to me in a club in America.
Okay. Shall we hear it?
No.
that's an excellent choice, Barney, I must confess. Great record. USA band?
Yes, they're from New York.
And somebody just gave you that?
Yeah, well, they work with
Presumably you heard it in a club?
I heard it in a club, yeah. Heard it in a club. They work with a producer who edited some of our stuff over there, so there's a tenuous link there.
Okay, we've got some more questions here. So, first of all, we'll take... we've got a caller on line 5. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Right, who do you want to talk to?
Both of them, really.
Right, far away.
Do you like any other groups, or like on the Factory label?
Yeah.
Who?
Stockholm Monsters, Happy Mondays, Certain Ratio, Quango, you know, most of them really.
Oh. Do you like, does Bernard like any?
No.
None.
I can't hear you, because he's only got one set of headphones.
When would you like to know which bands you like on the Factory label?
Right. All them that Ucky said before.
Presumably they like Happy Mondays as you're working with them.
Oh, I like Happy Mondays, is great, yeah.
I just got paid a lot for them.
Okay, listen, we want to try and cram a couple more callers in before 10 o'clock, because I don't think this will stretch into the Soul programme. Thanks a lot for calling, Squire. Okay.
Right.
Cheers. What are your influences and what music do you listen to? Well, it's pretty much the same, isn't it, really? Darren Jackson.
I like...
presumably I like a lot of New York dance music.
Yeah, but I don't know the names of the groups, you see, so... I just know the melodies, and I like Beethoven as well.
Mark Rutter wants to know why you've changed your name so many times. Not really bothered about that, are we?
Tax problems.
Why not? Why they call me Tony the Greek when I was born in Fallowfield?
I know why.
And why did Bernard change
We can guess. We all know what a Greek is, don't we?
Why did Bernard change his guitar from a Gibson to a cheap Japanese import? Baz from Altrincham. Nice one, Baz.
So he doesn't feel so bad when he smashes them up.
Yeah, this one, Sumner.
Because I smashed the neck off my Gibson.
Great.
And I just wanted a temporary one.
Because he's a hooligan. Peter Rock, what's his favourite pub in Little Alton? Great.
That's an interesting one, that one. I don't think there is one.
That's Bob from Little Alton. And,
Thanks, Bob.
As the last girl who found out wanting to join the band was a mate of a dear relative of yours, we assume that Bob owns the pub and he wants you to say his. Why was Murder on Factory Benelux? Stephen Ryan, that's a good question.
Why was Murder on Factory Benelux? It's because it wouldn't fit on the LP. We didn't have any plans to put another record out on Factory, and Michelle is a very good friend of ours.
Michelle Platini?
Michel Duval runs Factory Benelux.
He's got a lot of blackmail material on us, so we always have to give him a track every so often.
Are you football fans?
No.
They had a great Michel Platini joke, I must repeat, actually. Somebody told me...
Try and get sport into it.
We
don't like sport.
It was in The Guardian yesterday, and somebody said Ron Atkinson's going to buy Michel Platini in case they get a free kick on the edge of the box.
Never heard of either of them.
Why?
Ron Atkinson, are they a local band?
Dave Sully from Lynn wants to know why you release dub versions of singles. Probably because you prefer them to the actual mixes, is that right?
Because we haven't got enough singles.
Yeah, because you haven't got enough songs. Why don't you play Transmission or Dead Souls anymore? Dave Gerard.
Dead's the word.
Right, they're finished. Okay, listen, we'll take another... Have we got another call? No, I tell you what, we got another...
No, not another call.
No.
We'll... calls. What's the matter with the world?
Mr. Hook? Silence in the studio, please. This is professional, slick bit of radio, right? So we need to play another one of your records first. These boys have offered to record some of their favourite records down on tape for a future transmission on this programme. So we'll sort that out at a later date. Meanwhile, we'll take a break and then we'll come back with another choice of yours, Barney. What's this?
This is a group called Mine, and the song's called Hypnotic Tango. They're an Italian group.
Italian group?
Uh-huh.
Great. Okay. Break and then back with that. I can't read the label when it's going round, Barney. Tell me what that is.
It's, I can't read the single when it's going around.
It's called Happy Boy, isn't it? Or is that the label?
No, it's called Hypnotic Tango by an Italian group called Mine.
Okay, listen, one quick call here. Last call of the night from Rachel. Before Rachel, we've taken her on the run. Thanks very much to Jackie for your letter. Jackie from Oldham. I can't think if there's a question there. Anyway, I'm sure she's listening. And we'll run through these questions before we play out with Joy Division and Atmosphere. Rachel, set your question quickly, dear.
Can I speak to Bernard, please?
Yes, you can. This is Bernard speaking.
Do you think that you and the Smiths have any kind of connection? You know, both coming from Manchester and both singing about true to life things. What's happened to you?
Yeah, we both come from Manchester, I think, and we're both quite successful.
Both hyper-intelligent.
Is that as far as it goes?
And I'd like to know, do you like the Smiths?
I like the Smiths, yeah, they're good, very good.
And have you got any more gigs coming up in Manchester?
No, because we've all got to live in LA, I believe. Los Angeles, that is.
Okay then, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, love. Cheers. Right, fellas, last few questions before we play out with Atmosphere. On the album Low Life, where did you get Elijah from? That's Pete McGrath.
Elijah.
Elijah.
Elijah, yeah.
I'm not English.
Elijah's out of that film about the whale Moby Dick. That's it.
You can answer that.
Well, that's where we got it from.
Don't mention Moby
Oh, right, Moby Dick. What cover version would they like to do other than Sister Ray? Jeff from Oldham.
It's an interesting one, that one.
We'll think about that one, Jeff. We'll think about
Louis, I've answered it for you. How did they go? I don't want to know how. Right.
When I'm With You by Spark.
What part of Manchester do they come from? And is it true you met at Salford Grammar? Steve Garbutt.
It certainly is true, Steve. Well done.
Listen.
You win tonight's Star Prize.
Right, we've got to play out with atmosphere, so quickly, thanks very much, fellas. Set a quick question. 5 copies of New Order's brand new single, Shell Shock. Signed copies by these two.
Right,
Quickly,
how many names are there inscribed on the cover of the LP? There's a lot of names on it.
Right. How many names inscribed on the cover of their LP? OK. Don't phone in at 228
Not the LP, the single.
The single, right. Don't phone in, you silly people. The programme's ended and it's a writing competition, OK? You know this. Ta-da.